All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Ajax cast. I know it's been 2 years since we've had House of the Dragon, but season two kicked off last night. We had a great episode one. We got a lot of things to talk about. A lot of stuff happened. I mean, I know there was a lot of filler and building throughout the episode, but I think it got pretty heavy towards the end of it. I'm back here with the Beam and the Bear down below me, and yeah, is there anything you guys initially want to say about the episode or the start of season two?
Great return to Westeros. Very happy with the first episode of this season. Really excited to see what comes next.
Yeah, it really wasn't anything less than I expected. Honestly, I was thoroughly enjoyed through the entire time.
Yeah, and like my biggest thing is like obviously we've watched other shows, we've been watching other movies in this time. It's not like we just watched Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, but the acting in these is just still unreal. I don't think anything compares to it. The acting, the scenes, the cinematography, the scripting is just beautiful every single time. And I know we're only one episode in, but I like every time I'm forgetting that I'm watching actors. Like I'm like fully falling into the story. Partially that's because I love it so much, but another part is I think these actors just do phenomenal every single time.
Oh, 100% agreed. Like, just this episode in particular, like, seeing the grief from
Mhm.
Rhaenyra when she found her son. Like, she only had like a handful of lines this entire episode. Yet, I would say, like, she deserves, like, what is it for TV shows? A Grammy or
And
an
Emmy.
Emmy?
Emmy.
Emmy? Just for that alone. I mean, that was insane just seeing her break down like that. Like, you could just sense all the raw emotion there.
Yeah,
And
the way how she
just,
was able to speak without saying anything, man. Like God, when
mhm,
Jace came in, and
mhm.
like we'll just go ahead and jump to that since we're talking about their acting. Jace fucking delivered, man. When we got there and he was trying to talk to his queen, which is also his mother, and this is the first time he's seen her since Luke has been chomped. Dude, that was tough. That was just tough to watch.
Mhm.
But it was
Seeing him
such
break down like that.
yeah, and it was like how he slowly went into it. I said, okay, this is pretty impressive acting. So like I applauded that. And for her, Emma D'Arcy is how you say it, playing Rhaenyra.
Mhm.
Dude, just like you said, barely any lines, only said a few things, but it was just like so powerful, just like seeing her on the screen. And then what I
She got her
also
point
said,
across.
also for them to make a dragon look sad, dude. Like when they got to the beach, like because the dragons are supposed to be smarter than humans. Her dragon knew, like right off the bat, like kind of what was going on, and like the kind of
Mhm.
like whimper he was making. I was like, oh my god, this
Well, yeah.
dragon is
Well,
gonna make me cry.
wasn't that one of her babies too? The
Yes,
dragon, his
Mhm.
yes,
dragon.
yes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying last season.
Yeah,
Is I really am looking forward to seeing how they explore the relationships between the dragon riders and their dragons.
yeah,
Because I mean, you saw it right there, like David said. It seems like they can understand each other's emotions. That her dragon still knows what's going on, even if they can't like verbally communicate or anything. They just still have that connection.
yeah.
And so it's going to be interesting to see, how that impacts the war going forward. Because I mean, obviously we have Damon going scorched earth here after all this. So, it's going to be interesting. This season, I think, is going to be full of action.
Yeah. And just so everyone knows, we are Team Black 100%. So,
Oh
we,
yeah, there are
And
no
if you
greens
aren't,
here.
you shouldn't be watching the show.
yeah. If you are a fan of Kriston Cole, then you need to get the hell out of here.
I mean, who even is a green fan? Like, I never understood why they kept trying to paint it as you got to just pick a side. I'm like, I've not met a single
Who
green
is
fan
having
in real
trouble
life.
choosing this?
I
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I think if Otto Hightower was removed, then a lot of people would pick the Greens.
I don't disagree with that.
Like if he had
Hmm.
died at the end of season one, or if he got like oblad by Aemon or fucking Aegon, with how crazy he is, dude. Then,
I
oh,
don't know. I mean, Aegon wasn't very likable last season.
dude,
I
he was.
mean, he did
Well,
that
that we may
whole
see that
rape
coming up too,
thing.
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
That's the thing. Like, I mean, yeah, Aegon up here right now, so I think it's a good chance to talk about how he was this episode. I mean, we got kind of a first look and seeing how he ruled this episode. And as I was telling Davis and Jonathan earlier, it was like a frat bro became president of the
yeah,
U.S. in the way he ruled. It was just so unserious at times, but still, though, you still saw a semblance of a ruler of the people there.
yeah.
Because I mean, when they were meeting with the common folk and they were having their requests, towards the end, he finally pushed back against Otto, saying, the war is won by the small folk.
Hmm.
We need to have the blacksmiths on our side. So I think that showed that, while he may not be a great person, there is a potential for him to be a good ruler.
Yes, I agree. But like going back to the small council, dude, I love that he's like, I have to prioritize bringing my 4-year-old to sit at the council with us,
But
dude.
yeah, he's definitely gonna understand.
Yeah, he's like, he's gonna be part of this council one day. He's the heir to the throne. And then he gets there and he just, I love that they sat him next to the Lannister and he was just trying to steal the ball the whole time. It was
Mhm.
amazing. And I thought he was going to actually make the Lannister give him a piggyback ride. I thought that's what was actually going to
I
happen. I
wish.
thought we were going to see that in like Lannister humiliation in front of them. But
I think part of it for me is because of the original Game of Thrones series, I'm always gonna hate Lannisters now, even if they don't do
yeah,
anything wrong in any of the others.
yeah.
So seeing that seems a little cathartic for me.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was funny because I think everyone has that same reaction. I think that's kind of a nod to the Game of Thrones, being like, "Yeah, we get y'all hated Cersei so much, so and Joffrey, so here's a
Yeah, they do a really good
Mhm.
job of picking people we don't like.
yeah." I mean, that's just another nod to the actors. But yeah, Small Council was it was pretty interesting. I like how Aemon came in and he's like, this like he just started trying to take over completely
Mhm.
because he doesn't like obviously they talked about how much he studies, trains, rides his dragon, all that kind of stuff. But for him to already kind of understand the politics and understand how much Otto Hightower brainwashed his father or how much influence that he had, and then same thing that he's going to try to do with Aegon, like I think for Aemon to pick up on it being what 20 years old or however old he is, um,
But he's young.
yeah,
I
he's
was
pretty young.
also quite surprised, like when he was going through all the petitions and stuff, he didn't really want to listen to Hightower's influence. Like he really kind of, I felt like he was inspired by his dad. Like he was trying to do what his dad would have done in that situation.
Hmm.
I mean, that's something we've noticed about this entire episode is that Otto Hightower's influence is starting to wane a bit here, to the point now where, Larys is recommending to Aegon, maybe it's time to choose a new hand of the king. Just because he was your father's doesn't mean he needs to be yours.
Hmm.
So I think we might see a replacement in these coming episodes.
Who would you pick in that situation?
Well, the problem is I'm not going to pick a green. I'm going to pick, someone from
If you're in Aegon's
Rhaenyra's
shoes,
Coalition.
who do you pick?
Mm, that's tough. I'm not sure yet. I'd have to think about it. Who would you pick?
Well, I'm definitely not picking Lairs because, like we said, Littlefinger 2.0 right there. And if he could turn
That's
on
like
his
your spy
brother,
master right there.
huh?
He's like your spy master.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
That's who
also trying
Laris
to
is.
turn on the Hightowers.
yeah. So
hmm
yeah, and he helped the High Towers out so much, but he turned on his brother, turned on his dad. So like that dude, you can never. But I could see Aegon going that route, making him the hand.
I think he's instead, if he was smart, he would try to rein in another great house into the war on his side. And so maybe secure an alliance with like maybe the Tyrells wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
be a horrible decision.
Yeah.
Consolidate the reach. But or the Baratheons, maybe that's how they went over Storm's End in the end. Maybe that's why Damon was able to Aemon, not Damon,
Yeah.
got them on their side.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think that's going to be an interesting question for the next few episodes is who's going to be the next hand.
Yeah, or if they get someone from the Riverlands as well to kind of
hmm
fill that role, or at least be on the council.
Yeah, get it, Tully.
Get a Tully.
We have not read the books, so we don't know what happens, but this is what I'm assuming happens
Yeah,
is they're going to likely go after another great house. That would be the smart thing at least.
yeah, because dude, they have no way to like. Okay, they have dragons that can fight dragons, and that can be just trades. But
hmm
like the sea, dude, there's no way they touch Corliss's fleet. There's no way with what they have right now. It's impossible
I don't know,
for
man.
them
They
to do
got
it.
Vagar, bro.
Dude, I don't know, man. I think Damon and Rhaenyra, I think, are the two most skilled riders, and then we're gonna see some crazy ass dragons flying with Damon, and I think some
Yeah,
of
no,
them,
I don't disagree, but Vagar's big.
I mean,
yeah,
to your point, Jonathan, I mean, Allison, I think brought up a good point about that, which is if you deploy Vagar anywhere, King's Landing is
It's
vulnerable.
completely
yeah,
wide open.
It is
Yeah,
completely vulnerable, and anyone from Rhaenyra's coalition can just show up with a dragon, whether it be Rhaenyra or Jace or any of the others, can
and
just
they
show up
will.
and burn down King's Landing or take it for themselves.
yeah,
So that's the entire, and I think that's going to be a bit frustrating for Aemon too, because I mean he's going to want to get out in the action a bunch, and they're kind of restraining him down at King's Landing because I mean that's number one objective right there. So I'm curious to see how that relationship plays out too. I
Mm.
imagine he's going to be pretty annoyed by that.
Well,
He's already annoyed.
yeah, but also like I think Otto maybe starting to figure out like that because I'd say Aemon is very level-headed, especially compared to Aegon. So that
Mm.
and kind of comments he was making towards the end of the
Well,
episode, saying like as you see, he's like your brother does not have the restraint that I thought you would have, and I think he was kind of hinting at that he thought that like Otto knows that he lost control of Vagar, that he didn't maliciously go after Luke.
yeah.
So
Because that's the tough thing about that too, is like Vagar is much more powerful than Aemond has been or ever will be.
mm-hmm.
And so it's going to be a rough relationship, I think, going forward,
Yeah,
because you can never quite trust that dragon.
yeah,
You know, it's kind of like in a nuke that can go off at any time. It's kind of a scary thing to think about.
yes, yes, exactly. It's the nuclear football is Vagar,
Pretty much, yeah.
but some of the cannibal dragons, man, that they're gonna have, the wild dragons, like those are absolute wild cards because they could be essentially the same thing. We don't know how big they are. We know that one that Damon was singing to is massive. So if he just has though, like here's the thing: you have what's our nearest dragon? Because we have Syrax's Meles.
Oh,
Uh,
it's kind of like Sunburst or something.
no,
No,
that's
that's Aegon's.
yeah, that's Aegon's.
Oh yeah,
So that's Sunfire, and then we have the wild dragon that we saw at the end of season one.
Cyrax.
Cyrax, yes, Cyrax.
Yeah.
And then you have Cyrax. Those four right there. Mm,
Rhaenyra is supposed to be one of the best dragon riders in the Seven Kingdoms too.
yeah, of
He's
all
second only
time.
to like Daemon.
Yeah,
So it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to the dragon fights. I think we'll finally see some more this season because I mean, last season that wasn't really a fight. That
yeah.
was more
That was a massacre, bro.
that was a slaughter.
Yeah, but I loved opening scene, season two, taking us back to my favorite place, good old Winterfell. It's funny. I was watching it and I immediately saw like pine trees, and I was like, they're in Winterfell. And then it like slow
Well, they
like
got the
zooms
wall.
over. Yeah, and then they went to Winterfell,
Mhm.
and then they showed the wall, and I was like, oh, let's go. I was so excited, man. And then seeing the wall again, not destroyed, was really cool. But
Mhm.
I mean, I guess all the wall wasn't destroyed. But like the fact that they're talking about here keeping out death, I was like, are we gonna see White Walkers
Like
in
y'all
here?
don't even know, man.
They keep hinting at it. This is not the
Oh
they
my
hinted at
gosh,
it throughout
Mhm.
multiple times throughout season one, and
dude,
they right at the beginning of season two. It's one of the first things they mentioned. Like they're trying to say something for sure.
dude. I just don't know where they're gonna take it because like initially with Game of Thrones they were taking such a good route, and then like it didn't have the turnout that we wanted. But the lead up, the build up, the hype for it was so good. Or maybe, what if it's not White Walkers? What if it's something completely different? What if it's not the Night King? Because obviously the Night King had to build his army throughout that time. What if it is some other force that they ended up defeating with the dragons forever ago? But the fact that they talked about they brought their dragons up there and the dragons would not cross over the wall like blew my mind. I was like, oh, because you know the dragons smarter than the humans. So I was like, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's gonna be kind of wild. I mean, there could be anything lurking beyond that wall other than just obviously the White Walkers. So it'll be interesting to see. I think there's plenty of foreshadowing going forward, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll see something soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, I one of my favorite things about Game of Thrones is just the North. I just love it, and then I love the Wall, the Night's Watch, and everything beyond it with all the wildlings. But I know that was just kind of very quick. The start of the episode, kind of forgettable with how much happens in it, but man, is it significant. Like I'm hoping we just get a little more build up and build up throughout the season. And hey, maybe it doesn't even happen this season. Maybe it's like after. Maybe it's after the Blacks versus the Greens war's over, and something
Hmm.
happens when they're both pretty depleted. So that'd be pretty crazy to see.
Yeah. Plus, it was good to see a Stark again, right?
I know. I was like, and dude, you just saw him and you're like, Stark.
Hmm.
Yeah. God, I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see his and Jace's bromance grow throughout the seasons.
Yeah, that'll be cool because yeah, because that dude looks pretty young too. I mean, he has no
Yeah.
facial hair either, which is um means he's probably really young because all the Starks have always had facial hair.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. I guess we're probably gonna just see him and Jace grow up together
that
during the course of the war.
that'd be cool. Yeah, I think that'd be really cool.
Hmm.
Oh man, Winterfell, so excited about it. But we'll go and move on to Littlefinger 2.0. I know we briefly mentioned him. Not the biggest fan of him, but man, is he cunning. And it's going to be hard for, I think, us to kind of predict and figure out what he's trying to do. Like I said, we haven't read the books, even though they don't stick to a lot of stuff in the books. They change things up. This guy's going to be tough to read. I am not sure what his own personal gain is right here. Like, I'm assuming he's just trying to work his way up, you know? Maybe Hand of the King is his, like, ideal spot to be in, or the Master of Coin, or the what was it, the spy master, is that what it's
Be
called?
like a spy
Yeah,
master,
so
like
yeah,
Master of Whispers or
yeah,
whatever.
Master of Whispers. Yeah, I
But
just I
what
just
worries
don't
me
know, man.
about him is he replaced all the like staff for Allison Hightower. And I mean that right there just tells you, all right, now he's just expanding his spy network all throughout the castle.
Yeah, and she didn't like it either because like that's when
Nope.
she started bathing herself.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna start to see a distancing occurring between
Uh
her
huh.
and Mr. Strong here. So I think we might see some conflict here. I think I could see honestly him helping out the blacks a little bit here. You
Yeah,
know, feeding them some information,
Rhaenyra's just
let
got
them
to
know what's
show
going on.
her his feet or
Yeah.
her feet
I mean, he just wants power too. I mean,
and feet,
honestly, just start making him promises like, once you restore the blacks to power, we'll give you this land and this, and you can buy all the feet you want.
dude.
But
Like just on how this guy is, and like because most people have got to know that he like set his brother and his dad up and all that kind of shit.
mm,
I would if I'm Rhaenyra, I'd be like, yeah, like I try to persuade him over, and then as soon as he's done what he's done, I mean, I know this is kind of terrible for me to say, but I would just oblah him right there, man. He'd be gone.
Oh blah.
I'd be like,
blah.
hey, Cyrax is hungry, chomp, chomp, you know?
Yeah, I don't think anyone would miss him, to be honest.
Yeah. I was sitting there watching this, and I was like, God, I'm going to be so excited when we get to watch this guy die in this show because he's pretty terrible.
Well, speaking of death, that brings us to the next topic.
Yeah, let's. Was there something big that happened in this episode? I can't
I
remember.
don't think so.
Yeah.
Blood and cheese.
Blood and cheese. They didn't even set
Yeah,
up
I
the rat
knew.
trap correctly.
No, I mean, I knew the minute that he kicked that dog that they were bad guys.
Yeah,
I think that
right.
was the entire point of that scene. It's like, how do we make sure people know that these are guys are in the wrong here? I
Mm-hmm.
know. Kick a dog.
Yeah. I didn't think they were going to be successful in their mission. I mean, they really weren't successful in their mission. I thought that they were going to get to Aemond and we were going to get to see his training pay off and he was going to fuck them up. But
Nope.
no,
I would say this is a more impactful death though, because they killed the
the
heir
heir
to
to
the
the
throne.
throne, dude.
And the worst part was like they had the mom pick, and then they killed the one she was trying to save. It's insane. I
Mm-hmm.
thank God Magor, the 2-year-old or whatever, is 2 years old and won't remember it. Because otherwise, oh my God, imagine just living with that knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty nasty, and it's just like the fact that it goes from just like absolute like deaths, like a toddler dying to oh now we're gonna walk in on Kriston and Alicent and getting at it, man, breeding like
Hmm.
rabbits. Um, but
Yeah, there are a lot of Kriston and Allison sex scenes this episode, I noticed.
but dude, it just makes me wonder. I'm just like I remember when Joffrey was king, when Tomlin was king, when Robert Baratheon was king. The amount of guards that were around at nighttime too, and it's just like there were no guards around. It's like, yo, y'all just killed Rhaenyra's second oldest son like multiple days ago. Do you not expect some sort of heat on you at all? You
But there
went,
wasn't any open conflict yet.
but still, There wasn't any open conflict. And yeah, he got swallowed by a daggone dragon, dude. I would have upped security because of that, but that's just me being me. Maybe I'm being a little bitch, but
Allison was probably like, I'm fine. I've got my knight right here.
yeah, but yeah. And who do you think that night could have been? You think it could have been Kriston Cole?
I don't know.
Yeah, could Kriston Cole it have been his turn to be on watch? Could he have
Maybe.
said, "Oh, I'll take the night watch or the early night watch, so
Just
I
slipped
can
his
guard
sword
them"?
into the wrong sheath.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so what if this whole time he's supposed to have been on watch, but him and Allison have just been going at it on his watch?
So really, Jaehaerys' death is on Kriston Cole
Yes,
yet again.
that
He
is where
messes up.
that is where I'm going at. Kriston Cole has messed up yet again.
The
Terrible.
Civil War is his fault.
Yes,
I blame him.
yes, I blame him
I
for
mean,
everything.
realistically,
Hmm.
Stock market crash. Kriston Cole.
Man has to be the biggest hater of Rhaenyra of all
Yeah,
time.
dude.
I mean, even in this episode, man, just endlessly talking shit about her.
Yeah, he's just a little bitch. I can't wait till I run into that actor in person. I'm just gonna
Just gonna thank him for putting on a great show,
no, I'm be pissed.
putting on a great performance.
I'm just gonna be glaring
Thank
at
you
him.
for making me hate you.
Yeah. Oh
Just
man.
like Joffrey's actor.
Yeah, but dude, I was very impressed. Like we said from the start, of how great this season has started, and I think it's only gonna get better from here. Our biggest complaint, I think, was season one, which it wasn't really a complaint. We just wanted more action, like more combat.
I still think it was more eventful than season 1 of Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Mhm.
well, 100%. But like we got to see Daemon storm the beach and just obliterate people, slay the Crab King, and we're gonna get to see a full on war here on the water, on land, in the sky, everything. So I'm really looking forward to it. Um, but in other words, is there anything else you guys would like to say about the episode?
Fantastic. Looking forward to seeing more.
Lotso, you got
Yeah,
anything?
I agree. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited for. I feel like this season's gonna be very, very eventful. It's gonna
Yeah.
be very action packed.
Yeah. But for those of y'all that haven't seen our stuff before, we've seen it for the first time. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate all the support. We're back and we're going to start cranking out a lot more content. We've just started playing out a ton of things. We're also going to do a preview show for each episode, and we haven't read the book, so we're not going to be able to spoil anything for you guys. It'll be something quick, something kind of fun. As you can tell, we don't take everything super seriously. We just like to come on here, talk, have a good time, and talk about one of our favorite shows and favorite things that's currently existing right now. But anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in, and we will see y'all next time. Peace.